Welcome to another episode of 758 Sports Talk. And tonight we're going to do things a little bit differently because we have a lot to get into. As a matter of fact, tonight we're primarily going to delve into the shift in the leadership of the West Indies Cricket Board. In fact, Cricket West Indies, we're going to have a substantive discussion with a former World Cup winning captain, two-time World Cup winning captain, of course. We await his presence, always fashionably late. He should be on his way by now. For those of you who are asking, because I'm having a lot of persons ask me on WhatsApp, where can they see it tune in? A couple of things. The Special Olympics team, they returned on the weekend and they were greeted by Prime Minister Honorable Alan Shastry, and they were treated very nicely. Nice little outing at the lounge at the airport. Of course, the Olympics team, they came home from Abu Dhabi. We did not feature that in our sports, but it was in the news. They did pretty well. We had a goal in football, we had a silver in the track, and 3 bronze medals as well. So this team doing pretty well, making us proud. Of course, these individuals, they require special training and attention, and they've been doing their thing, putting St. Lucia on the map. And so that should have been very, very nice. And of course, you could see from the pictures, the picture that we are showing you right now, of course, somebody having a conversation with the Prime Minister. Very nice from all indications, from my information, very warm atmosphere at the airport, and these individuals doing very well. Of course, that must be a really nice experience for them, all the way Abu Dhabi, and attending the Special Olympics there. And so let me see, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 medals by Team St. Lucia. 5 medals by Team St. Lucia, and so that should be, we should definitely congratulate these individuals for a job well done. I remember at the last Olympic Games, I'm trying to remember the medal count. I guess somebody could send me a WhatsApp message, but it was pretty similar. I think it might have been 7 or 9. For some reason, 9 comes to mind, but they did pretty well over there. So we must continue to encourage these young individuals to keep striving. And we know sports is obviously the ultimate sort of cathartic experience for individuals going through anything, and so we want to congratulate these young men. Job very, very well done. Of course, on the weekend we had a number of activities going on around the island. Of course, Division 1 football continued. View 4 teams, they are on top of the league, doing very, very well. Uptown Rebels and Platinum FC, defending champions Platinum FC, in pole position in Division 1 football, and so we'll see what happens from that competition. Today we also saw the St. Lucia Football Association delivering some equipment to Division 1 clubs, which is very, very nice. We're looking at action gets underway on Thursday evening. We still await the fixture for the first set of matches in that competition, and so very, very, very well done. We also saw the lighting ceremony for the Balata playing field. The lights were officially turned on in the Balata area. Of course, the Balata unique, the playing field unique in the sense that it is, as Honorable King made mention, split right in the middle of the Babono constituency and Castries North. And so we saw a nice little event there between the Honorable Ezekiel Joseph putting his team together and Stevenson King putting his team together. I must say, Ezekiel Joseph he did a very good job. I must say, I was pleasantly surprised. And of course, Honorable Stevenson King pretty much managed his team for most of the event, and we saw the likes of Dominic Feedy, Alvin Lavey, who's a former national cricketer, showing that he still looks in his, like he can stroke it. So very nice activity over there at the Balata playing field. In the end, Honorable Ezekiel Joseph team won. There was no surprise there. That team had a number of young players that seemed to have some good experience and played very well. Nice crowd turned up for the lighting, and so that went very, very, very well. I didn't get the final scores in terms of the individual scorers, but I remember that Honorable Ezekiel Joseph, I think he got out for some 9 runs. Dominic Fede retired. They were not able to capture his wicket, so he retired to allow, excuse me, another individual to come in and bat. Excuse me. Excuse me. So yeah, very, very nice vibe at the Balata playing field. Certainly hoping to see some additional cricket matches there. Mr. Herman Gill Francis was also there. Of course, a very good cricketer. Still looks like, you know, he could show the youngsters a thing or two with bat and ball. And that was pleasant to see as well and enjoy. So very well done. Of course, the lighting for the Fossa playing field is supposed to happen sometime this week. Once we have that information, Dipino Sav Ukai Connect. And once we have that information, we will let you guys know. Deborah, we've seen in the Deborah community the ongoing 40 over competition, and that is a nice competition, of course, that we hoping to get some more coverage for you, bring some more coverage to you as soon as we are able to. Of course, games continue in that community. All right, so of course on the weekend, big events happening in the region, and of lots of activities on the weekend. And we've seen a picture up of the current president and vice president of Cricket West Indies, the newly elected president and the vice president of Cricket West Indies. Of course, on the left, if you do not know, Mr. Skerritt, Ricky Skerritt, and on the right, his running mate, Vice President Dr. Kishore Shallow, making history, becoming the youngest ever Vice President of Cricket West Indies. So, of course, congratulations to these guys. All right, so to discuss this tonight and other activities, I have on set Mr. Are we going to go to it? Yeah. Mr. Fashion himself and Darren Sammy. Good night, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm blessed and highly favored.
Very blessed and very highly favored. I know that for sure. Before we go into all these other discussions, you just came back from Pakistan, another stint in your second home. I think that's your second home by now.
Yeah, it's a great place to play cricket.
Tell us about your experience there again.
Peshawar's Army, going all the way again for the third consecutive time, and we just couldn't jump that final hurdle.
Yeah.
We lost in the finals to a good Quetta side. You know, they too have been to the finals 3 times. The first time actually winning it, but on the day they played better cricket, and hence we lost. But all in all, it was a good tournament, good campaign again for Peshawar. You know, getting to 3 consecutive finals in itself is an achievement. And yeah, I look forward to next year again.
Quetta seem to have had your number this year.
Yeah,
I think you played them 3 times this year.
Actually, we played them 4 times. And lost all 4. You know, it was quite disappointing. You know, but that's the game. If it's one thing I've learned as captain of the team, every time we've played finals, we've not been able to put runs on the board.
Yeah.
And, the one we defeated them, we defended 149. So far we've barely scored 160 on a pitch, which is actually 180 pass score.
Yeah.
So we were behind the 8 ball from the first innings.
For Pakistan is a place that I always, whenever you go to Pakistan, I wonder if you will come back a citizen or something.
It's a place I've received a lot of love. You know, they respect me down there, and you know, they're so passionate because, you know, they've been starved of cricket over the last 10 years, and, you know, to get back cricket in Pakistan about 3 years ago when we played that first final, and what we've been able to achieve as foreign players, you know, bringing back cricket to Pakistan has been amazing, and, you know, the fans let you know that, you know, and I really appreciate all the love I received down there.
Generally, do you feel safe playing in Pakistan, considering a lot of things happen in that area?
Look, Kenson, we just had in New Zealand where cricketers didn't feel safe. You know,
Can you imagine New Zealand?
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's sad to see what the world is coming to, but every country has their own, difficulties in terms of safety.
Yeah.
But to say that when I'm in Pakistan I feel threatened, I feel unsafe, I would be lying. I've enjoyed playing there. Obviously the protocol states you must have security, and the army really they do a good job making you feel as if I was playing at Bonsejour, and it's been amazing. And like I said, that first step we took was a big step in bringing cricket back. So far you've seen a couple international teams come and taught Pakistan. Sri Lanka, which was involved in the attack some 11 years ago, they've taught there. We've had West Indies team going there, and it's a small step in the right direction.
Zayda James made the Windward Islands team at the age of 14, the senior Windward Islands team at the age of 14. Where were you when you found that out, and what were your thoughts?
Yeah, actually, I was on the show when the banter when I found out about Zayda. I spoke to her mom earlier today, congratulating her. And to me, it's not a surprise because she was part of the Digicel Darren Semi Cricket Academy, and the work she's put in with John Eugene and these guys. We saw her talent. Phil Simmons was very impressed
I remember him
with
saying that.
what he saw, and it just shows the you put in the work, you believe in yourself, and she's proven that the hard work she's put in her game, she's been rewarded for that. I'm not sure if she's joined the team as yet, if she's still here.
She's still here.
But it would be good for her to get that exposure. Stephanie Taylor started quite young, in the West Indies team, and she's barely 30, but she's had over 10 years of international experience. So hopefully, Zayda could continue in that way and even better herself and be the next star for us in women's cricket.
Definitely, we'll certainly be looking out for what she does next. And of course, congratulations again, Zayda, and of course her mom. These people, they follow her everywhere she goes.
She actually was saying she needs to know the flight information so she could book a ticket to go and support her daughter, which is also good in as a sportsman, as an athlete, to have the backing of your parents. It always goes a long way.
Definitely. All right, so. Last week we spoke, and the build-up to the very important, the historic election of Cricket West Indies, and I want to touch first on something that I've never seen you do. I've done before in terms of actually going on Facebook, endorsing and unendorsing, not endorsing. But what happened that brought you to a point where you felt like you have to go on Facebook, where you have a very large following in the millions, and actually express what you felt should happen and what we as a people should want?
I think, when in 2016 when I said what I said after the World Cup, it was truly what we experienced. Some people still try to deny it, what the team went through, because the president wanted to take credit for what the team achieved.
Yeah.
And I've stressed on it, we did it in spite of the difficulties faced and the challenges we had along the way with the administration, with other people describing our team of no brains and all these type of things. And I think I was listening to an interview and listening to the president talking about the things he has done and how he's won it. He's got 6 votes, and you could see the ego in him, the cockiness, in the interview. And then he said, hiring Phil was a mistake. I think that one really did it for me, because I think Phil is well qualified. The way he took a young associate team and brought it to international cricket, and the standard at which he brought Ireland cricket. And then we were seeing it happening with Afghanistan. to say we as a Caribbean people, as a West Indian board, that it was a mistake when within a year or two, Phil brought up a World Cup title.
Yeah.
To say it was a mistake, I think that was just pure disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know, to Phil and his qualities as a coach, and I just think, in my opinion, because remember, my word is not the gospel. You know, it's just my opinion, which I'm entitled to, and what I've experienced under the leadership of Dave Cameron, that it was time for him to go. I did not see the progress that they were talking about as a player or as a fan looking at WICB. In any franchise, in any organization, you know, sporting organization, you know, the players make the news, not the board. You understand? So over the years, you've constantly see the president in the news. It means that the job is not being done. And I've said it before, in any sporting arena, whether it be tennis, basketball, football, cricket, in the center is where the action. All the chairs are facing the center. All the box, the VIPs, the chairs are still facing in the middle. And unless until you understand that what happens in the middle is one of the most important things, and it's the players, and it's the cricketers, and that's your product. Unless you respect and acknowledge that, and think as an administration you become bigger than that, then we are already going along the wrong direction.
One of the interesting things you spoke about last week was really the relationship between, and you just mentioned it, the relationship between the board under Dave Cameron and players. You explained on radio what really happened in India for the benefit of our television viewers. What, in terms of the India tour, the actual impasse between the board, a little bit of negotiation with WIPA and the actual players, what actually happened that had so many of our players wanting to see the back of Dave Cameron?
Well, first of all, you know, with Hines, and when Dave became president, he made a statement that there will be no more issues with WIPA. As you know, under Ram Narayan, you know, the Players Association won, I think, 11 arbitrations. And first thing Dave came out and says, like, there will be no more issues with WIPA, only because he and Wavell were best of friends. And I remember in a meeting in Trinidad, probably during a T20 competition, the issue of, you know, professionalizing the league, you know, helping first-class cricket came about, because we did it. International players took a salary cut a couple years ago when the first time first-class cricket got an increase after so many years. So it was discussed, and the minutes of the meeting said, we are open, we are willing to take a cut, but it must not be to the downfall of the international guys. It must be, you must inform us before what it is. We got to India. The next thing we heard about that was we got signed contracts saying you must sign this, and we've noticed that there have been a 70% cut from the salaries. Now, Kensington, in any union, in any office, in any job that you have, you can't lose 70% of your salary one week going into the other one. You must complain about it. And they talk about professionalizing the league, giving players, you know, 120 players got contracts. We were all up for that, but you had to find a way to raise that funds. Now, they didn't have a plan, and what they did was to chop off the international guys. And if you notice, the threat of strike in India came about, but like I said on the show that morning, we played 4 out of the 5 ODIs. But every time, you know, the team was saying, we're not going to play because you got to rectify that. We're not going to sign the contract. After the 4th game, I remember in somewhere in India, we came off the field and Richie Richardson said, okay, guys, pack our bags. We got to get the toys off. the president have called off the tour. Like, okay. So it was either take it or leave it. That was his message. If you don't do what I say, finish, call off the tour. Nearly cost the West Indies Cricket Board $23 million, which we don't have. You know, and India now have been playing us in Florida, taking the revenue. We have another India tour, trying to bring back that money that they lost. So yes, I am so happy that, you know, a professional cricketer now has a contract, a central contract where, you know, you could go to the bank and say, okay, this is my salary for the year. I need a loan, you know, and that could happen. Before that could happen, but all that was it was bound to happen, you know, and I'm glad that they have that. So yes, he could say that, but under his tenure as a president, that happened. But that was something that was in the pipelines, and it had to happen.
All right, so that pretty much was one of the big issues, and you had the World Cup debacle in terms of Ron Lewis having to pretty much fend and get everything for you guys, like a little messenger boy going all over the place to get the uniforms. That is well documented. And then you had your speech as well, and after the World Cup, pretty much letting everything out.
Yeah, and I think what really took them by surprise or shocked them is that was the first time I ever spoke out. You know, you've known me all those years. I've always been one. They used to call me the pacifier, the one who, you know,
keep everything
together. You know, even I had a meeting after the India cancellation of the tour with Reverend West, and he said to me, you know, if it's one person he would expect, we had full confidence in that would say, you know what, guys, none of that. It was me.
Yeah.
But I said, Reverend, you know, I was just sacked as ODI captain, and you know, I'll tell you this, when that happened in India, certain people from the board came to me and apologized. They said they made a mistake, that they removed me as captain. You know, Julian Charles had that same conversation with me. They made a mistake. I'm like, you don't need to apologize now. At that time, I'm enjoying my cricket. I'm playing, you know, I could just go out and don't have to think about bowling changes. And they tried to offer me, you know, if this happens, you know, you probably might be captain. Like I said, no, I'm not interested. You know, this is not every time there's a crisis for Sammy to be the one to try and mend it. You know, I was put into a situation where they asked me to captain in 2010 and say bring some stability and build West Indies cricket, because obviously the contract said West Indian captain must have a retainer. And neither Gale, who was the captain, or Bravo, who was the vice captain then, had accepted their retainer contracts. And captaincy was put on me. I rose up to the challenge, I accepted it, and that's what happened. You know, and I fought, you know, with the resources that I had. You know, I gave it my all. I could only give my best.
Yeah.
And I tried, you know, and to be treated the way I have, and because of something I said, you know, because I spoke the truth, it tells you what or who we had as the president. You know, it cannot be an emotional position. And that's what we've been given over the last 6 years.
So fast forward, Kishore Shalu, scared, they decide they are coming up in this election. And of course, we get in different sides in terms of, you know, who should win and that sort of thing. And then most of the greats come out in support of Kishore Shalu, scared. And you have Shivnarayan Chanderpaul coming on the other end. What were your thoughts on the shift?
I understand Chanderpaul's position. You know, it's not black and white like this. You know, and there's a reason why it was only Chanderpaul and probably Tino Best. You mean out of 120 contracts you gave, only 2 came out? In support of what you're doing?
Tino Best is not really somebody.
Well, you know,
he wasn't a captain.
yeah,
he
but
wasn't somebody
I
that,
do
wasn't
understand.
He wasn't a Walsh.
I do understand Shonda Paul's position. I understand why he had to do it.
Okay.
You know, details that I don't really have to dish out on air. But at the end of the day, what I ask the people or the voters to do is do the right thing.
Yeah.
And I was very, very pleased on Sunday, you know, when I got the news that, you know,
Tell us about that.
I thought it was gonna be, I was sure it was gonna be 7-5.
Yeah.
But somebody somewhere, you know, did the right thing again, made it 8-4. I just wanted to see his face, actually, after when he saw the result. Even in his comments, he said he still was not gracious.
Yeah.
You know, congratulating the new president. He still had to throw in some shade. Some men talking about men are not loyal or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, come on, that was in the cards to happen. Because if you tend to remember, when it was Mr. Hunt, we thought Winwoods were gonna vote for Mr. Hunt, and it so happened Winwoods they changed their policy. And Antigua also changed their vote when the board said, the president said, you have to vote for Julian. Yeah. The voters went and voted elsewhere.
It's a secret ballot.
Yeah.
It's a secret ballot though. So at the end of the day, there's still speculation. We can only speculate as to what actually
But we know. But I'm very happy. And like I said, and I spoke to Charlo, I spoke to...
I was just about to ask you.
To Mr. Skerritt. It's not going to be crystal clear now.
Yeah.
Now we've gotten Mr. Dave Cameron is out. They got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of work to do in taking West Indies cricket and, you know, putting the administration in a position where it is respected as an administration.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes the cricketers, we have a part to play in performing. But if you as a board can get respect from the world, then the sponsors will come, cricketers start to perform. And I must say, you know, Jason Holder, the way he's led the team, you know, the way he has improved as a leader, and performing and leading from the front. He was a different type of leader to me. I led by motivation, not by performance.
Yeah. You had times you did perform, Sammy.
But Jason has really been good, you know, number 1 all-rounder in the world, top 10 test bowler. And like I said, you put guys together and you let them play consistently, they will grow in their role. And that's what you see in the results of the last 2.5 years, Jason leading those young guys. It happened to me as captain. You know, we got to number 5 in the world in Test cricket. You know, we defeated Pakistan, they were ranked higher than us. We got to number 5 at one point in the world, which was one of the goals. And then 2 years in, we won a World Cup. There's no secret that we failed miserably in the T20 format, because this is the format where the guys have not been playing together consistently since the World Cup. Everybody has gone in a different direction.
We ranked number 9 in T20.
Yeah,
I mean that.
This is one format we were well respected.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
we were feared.
And I speak to Carlos and I tell Carlos, the team that I captain, you never got an opportunity to captain that. And Jason, in one-day cricket and Test cricket, has had continuity. Yeah. You know, with the players, Shai Hope, you know, Ruston Chase, you know, Powell, Craig Brathwaite.
He's coming along nicely.
All these guys have been playing together. So, and the work that Stuart Law did with that team, and Corey Collymore and Floyd Reefer, before the series started, Floyd told me these guys would have done well. You know, because he told me about the work that they were putting in. So it was only a matter of time before they saw the results, and it's now how to continue in that process. So.
All right, so we're gonna pay some bills, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about moving forward.
Yeah,
we're going to definitely talk about the contracts, the same contracts in terms of 70% taken out. How do you think Skerritt and all these guys are going to deal with moving forward? And we're definitely going to talk about the local cricket association.
Oh, yeah,
we have to jump into that. And St. Lucia, we're definitely going to open the phone lines for you guys as early as we possibly can. There's just so much to get to. Now, definitely, we're going to take a break right now. I want to tell you guys about Eagle Freight and Brokerage Services. It's one of our sponsors on St. Lucia Sports Online, of course, and they've been doing a lot. Eagle Freight and Brokerage Services Limited is St. Lucia. Is a registered shipping agency providing hassle-free transportation services using global network coverage. The core business is in the handling of less than container loads, full container loads, and air cargo worldwide to and from St. Lucia. In addition, they offer customs, brokerage, and trucking services island-wide. So definitely Eagle Freight and Brokerage Services, your cargo is in safe hands with them. So definitely Eagle Freight. They also sponsor local cricket. The Adventist Premier League is sponsored by Eagle Freight. So they're doing.
I got to get in that league then.
Yeah, they're doing their thing. And of course, our other sponsor is Bank of St. Lucia. We take a break. When we come back, we have so much more for you guys, and we'll look at some of your WhatsApp messages at 4880929. We'll be right back. right, welcome back to 758 Sports Talk, and of course, there's so much for us to get into. We have a couple of messages. Let me get some out. Somebody says, "Hey, good evening. Question to Sammy: will we see you play for Winod Islands in any format before you end your career? And what is your opinion on bringing CPL cricket to Dominica rather than Florida? The fans in Dominica are great cricketers. They love cricket, I guess, and should have games, in my opinion." Don't answer that yet. Let me just get through some of them. Somebody says, "Hey, Kenton, I believe Carlos has to go revamp the..." No, sorry.
Charlo.
I believe Charlo has to go.
I didn't have to read it, I knew.
It has to go revamp the National Cricket Association. Sammy, we've seen a new day. There's a new president. As you said, the work begins. One of the things that has to be dealt with is, of course, player relations. And one of the things that would have to actually happen for any sort of player relations to be solved is the idea of the contracts. What must Skerrit and Charlotte do to get those international standard players, like the Narines of the world, the Bravos of the world, to recommit to West Indies cricket and have a good relationship?
Well, I think Bravo is retired. I've not played for the last 3 years. Kenson, I don't want to sit here and think, oh, when we were playing, it was heaven. It was not. You know, and like I said, the steps Jason have taken as a captain, with that team. You know, the way I saw them play against England recently, if they could continue with that, I think we are heading in the right direction. It's up to Kishore and Skerrit to put measures in place that, obviously, with that MOU signed, the guys been playing under that contract for the last three years. You know, so Mr. Skerrit is big on development. He's really focused on the high performance center.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, you know, this is where the high performance center should be the catalyst for breeding cricketers to the next level. You know, so all the guys like Kimani Melius who would finish under 19, and there's a big gap between under 19 and first class, or get into the West Indies team, they could be nurtured under the high performance system, because development is as important as playing at the top. And with the crop of players they have now, what was lacking was the experience. You know, and I made a point some time ago when Gale was out of Test cricket. You know, you could see the difference in the openers. You know, as soon as he came back, Powell scored back-to-back hundreds, batting with Gale. Craig Brathwaite scoring hundreds, batting with Gale. It's a massive difference when you have two youngsters in the middle trying to battle a situation which they're not familiar, not used to. Instead of going to bat with, let's say, a Chanderpaul at the crease, a Gale at the crease, you know, or even a Bravo at the crease, where they've been through it, they have the experience, and they could show you the way to do it. And I think if it's one area we were lacking, was in that experience department. You know, and Ricky now has to find a way to, first of all, I think he's a much better communicator. He has better people skills. And speaking with Charlo, out of St. Vincent, you know, he comes highly recommended. He's young, but the experience he's gathered over the years in that field, it shows that that's why he could become the youngest VC in Cricket West Indies. So there's experience mixed with youth at the top. That's the best way to put it. And if you filter that down to the cricket, you know, experience, youth needs experience, experience needs youth as well to build a good structure. And I think Ricky should venture into that area. He has already made the claim for the high performance center, where the youth
said that's
will
the
be.
first thing he's going to
It's very important for our development.
Speaking about development, St. Lucia National Cricket
No
Association.
development.
What are your thoughts?
I think it was it was shocking for me to hear Mr. Charles talk about what Mr. Cameron has done. But I really want to know what Mr. Charles has done for local cricket. Over the last few years, we've had so many talented players, and as an administration, it's also the responsibility to know and help develop those sort of players. You ask Kimani, you ask Eugene, you ask, that's Jonel, you ask Zeta, you ask any of the local players who probably play for Windward Islands, who have been instrumental. They will tell you, will hear Alton Crafter's name come into play. You will hear John Eugene's name come into play. You will hear SPL, because right now that's our premier tournament, SPL, which is a privately organized competition. I don't know when was the last time we really had inter-district finishing on time, or you get a calendar of events saying this tournament gonna happen in January, in March, or the cricket season. Back then, growing up, we had that under Mr. Phillip. If it's one thing Mr. Phillip did as a president was, make sure there was development. And it went back as well in working together with the ministry. Under Dr. Hilaire, these guys took an interest in the development of the sport. And right now, we have a invisible, per se, in terms of work being done. Paul Calix he get blamed for everything. He's in there. Probably we need change there too. And I don't know what Mr. Charles have done.
So if that is the case, Asami, I'd have to ask the question: why he's still there? Why at the end of the day? Because let me preface that properly. Every single area I've gone on, any cricket field, I have heard exactly what you just said. Senusha, I am just putting it out there. This is not Kenson with any sort of...
No.
This is what I have heard everywhere. But yet still, elections is in November, but yet still he's still at the helm.
Yeah, because, Kenson, after a while, the people who really cared about the cricket, who really cared about the development, after constantly seeing what's happening, they too get tired. You understand? And it's just like if you've had one person in the area year in, year out, you've not given any chance for development in that position as well, because if you keep coming. And it's the same, apparently, I was told it's the same mentality of Mr. Charles was adopting the same mentality as the president that just left. I know for sure guys have been asked to leave meetings. I think it was Brian who was on your show, said that they took a decision without consulting the executive.
So this is what I will ask then. Mr. Calix explained right here last Monday.
Yeah.
The executive was not consulted. The affiliate was not consulted. A decision was taken to back Cameron. Cameron, at the end of the day, was unpopular throughout the region and even unpopular throughout the persons that were voted. They voted Cameron out. It almost seems that there is no confidence in Julian Charles. Why? And I know a constitution would make provision for a vote of no confidence. Is it that we do not have anybody who is capable of doing that? Because why have the motion been moved, considering right now we have a different leader at the helm?
Yeah.
What is
and that's
on?
why I'm pleading for people to get back the interest. Want to have that play that leadership role in whether it be administration, in coaching, in those sort of, maybe you could play a role.
Always putting my name in there. I'm playing my role
but
right
that's why Kenson have taken a different approach with my position. I could have easily been there and say, okay, it's not my business, I'm playing my cricket, but I'm in a leadership position, and it's my duty to educate. It's my duty to have a voice, because a lot of people out there want to. A lot of people are very happy about what's going on, but before they couldn't voice their opinion because of fear of victimization and stuff like that. I know there are a few persons in St. Lucia that have the cricket at heart. And if you don't want them to be president, you could employ them in a field where they could help out as well. And I think I could almost foresee Mr. Skerritt doing some things like that, you know, getting personnel in specific areas to help. You know, it don't really have to be a president from a board member from St. Lucia, probably bring in independent people who has the know-hows, you know, because we're still operating in a system that was created in the 1800s in 2019. It's very difficult to work. You know, so we need people, first of all, to put their hand up and say, I am willing to take on the mantle.
Do you think that, considering that you do not think that we are, as a local body, we're heading in the right direction, do you think that this is going to happen now, or are we going to wait until
No, we have to. We have to. And I think if Mr. Charles is listening, he should just resign. Since who he was supporting to take the cricket forward is not there. They've lost. The ideas and how would I put it, what you wanted to achieve under that administration, you clearly stated. It's not like you were secret about it. You clearly stated this is who you're supporting. Now your guy is gone, so you two should just do the honorable thing and resign as well.
Interesting. All right, let me just take in some messages there, and we're going to take our final break, and then we're going to definitely open the lines for you guys to allow you all to ask your questions, send congratulatory remarks to Zida and the likes. All right, good night, Kenson. How in God's name we will return as leader after doing something so terrible, bargaining without the team's knowledge? Shaking my head. We need more Darren Samis in all of our sporting disciplines, because a lot is going wrong in our sports, but no one wants to speak out. All right, somebody says good show. Good night, gentlemen. Interesting discourse thus far. One question to Sammy. Not sure if the question was posed already. If given the opportunity to represent the West Indies again, would you consider why or why not? Let's answer that question before we go to the break, because somebody asked.
Look, like I stated earlier, it's not about even playing for West Indies. You know, the last year, you know, I've battled injury. You know, I'm 35 years old. You know, if I'm performing at a level that allows me or merits selection on the West Indies team, especially in the T20 format, because I've retired from Test. I've not played ODI since the World Cup in 2015. You know, so that's almost 4 years. But I still feel I have something to offer in the T20 area, and I think that's why every team I've played for around the world, I've been the leader. I've been the captain, and if I'm not, the coaches want me to play a leading role in that franchise. So I still feel I have something to offer that, but it has to be. Okay, I come CPL this season, I perform, then you know. But to say this is at the forefront of my mind, no, I've gone past it, to be honest.
Okay, so we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll definitely open the phone lines up for you guys. We'll be right back. Sports Talk. And of course, I have with me Mr. Darren Sammy, two-time World Cup winning captain. And we we open the phone lines. Please do not call 488-0929, people. The number to call is 451-9788 to make your contribution tonight. 451-9788. All right. And we have our first caller. Good evening. You're live. Go ahead for contribution.
Yeah, good night.
Good night, sir.
Yeah, what up, Sammy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm the man that have the charity Feed the Poor ministry. And I know that you are more handsome than me, you know? Because everywhere I go around, some people ask me, well, if we are brothers, you know? So I say, well, yes, but you are more handsome than me, you know? Yeah, I want to say to you, my brother.
Yeah?
That I'm proud of you, Papa.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I'm proud of your achievements, you know. As a Caribbean man, a St. Lucian man, we come from a 238 square mile place, you know. And for you to make such strides and, you know, such success, my brother, I'm proud of you, you know. And I want to say that I'm happy that Dave Cameron, he was sent packing, you know. Because he used to run the West Indies cricket board as if it's his property out there, you know.
Yeah.
So people have to realize that the power is not in their hands. When people elect you to do a job, you have to consider that you are doing service to people and not service to yourself. So I'm happy that Dave Cameron was sent packing. And that is a message for all leaders of walks of life, even in government, that when you are elected to serve the people, your aim is to ensure that your interest and your all is about service to people and not to yourself. And I want to wish you all the best, my brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Hold tight, Papa.
All right.
Thank you so much for your
man,
contribution. He actually brought something up really nicely. Regional leaders. I remember Cameron said something to the effect that some were on his side and some would not. We didn't get a chance to delve into that, but we have another caller. Good evening. You're live. Go ahead for contribution.
Are y'all including Darren Sammy in the other T20?
Are we including, what was the question?
You're asking how we're going to include him? Is the West Indies selectors going to include him? That's what you're asking? Because I cannot include him. If I could have, I would have.
Okay.
It's a youngster.
Is that it?
calling.
A youngster calling?
Yeah.
You have anything else to say to Mr. Sammy?
No, nothing else.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your call. 4519788. Regional leaders. Dr. Gonzalez spoke vehemently against Cameron. What do you think? What was the sentiments now?
Yeah, well, we all know Dr. Keith Mitchell, Dr. Gonzalez, Keith, the Prime Minister of Trinidad, Rowling, in St. Kitts. You know, they've had their issues. You know, they were not happy with the way Cameron was running the organization, and they tried. Free reports suggested that you should dissolve the board, but which they put the people in place to come up with the report, and they never implemented
the recommendation. We have another caller. Good evening. You're live. Go ahead for contribution.
well, you talk about some stuff that we ourselves didn't have knowledge about, which I strongly back you in what you're saying, because indeed there was the truth. But the question now is, do you believe that the forum in which you speak those things, do you strongly believe within yourself that it is at the right spot? I mean, it was like the ICC biggest stage in T20 cricket, you know. So I'm going to turn my TV on so I can hear what you say, because my credit is running out. So
all right,
buy some credit from New Vibe, man. New Vibe Barbershop, and then call back another time, Mr. Rodney.
Anyway, but where Cameron is concerned, it's long overdue. We needed a change.
And you are Jamaican.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, my brother. You see, we're there for the cricket and not for
yeah.
But
he's one of us.
Yeah, but good question though. Go ahead, Tommy.
I will answer his question. If this had to happen, there is no doubt in my mind the forum in which I spoke that I regretted. They kept telling me, oh, we could have done that behind closed doors. But we've been talking before the finals, before the World Cup, we were trying to speak. Nobody was giving us a listening ear behind closed doors. So now, I think because it was the world stage, 1.3 billion people in India,
and the rest of the
world watching. Yeah, I think that was the right stage. And everything I said came to pass, because I told them this might be the last time I would be playing under that with that team, and it was the last time to date that I played with these guys, and I expected that type of behavior, because that was the pattern coming from the president. That's how he operated.
So do you think some of the players like Bravo, you think they will come out of retirement and under a new administration? Do you see an influx of new interest and revival within the players?
We were all in Pakistan, and the qualifier to get to the finals, we played against Bravo, and myself and Pollard, we needed 19 6 overs, and we lost really by 9 runs. We were really going at it, and afterwards we were sitting and talking, and Bravo was like, wow, and you guys can't play for West Indies. I'm retired, you haven't played in 3 years, and Paulie gets selected. And it's like, but we at a stage now, Kenson, everything in life happens for a reason. I think that was my time to speak out, and I think it took me to another level in terms of my leadership, what I stand for, and people know now. You can't come around me with
mediocre.
No, don't come. I will stand up for what I believe in.
Yeah.
So that really set me aside. That when I say something, I really mean it, and the level of respect I've gotten over the world because of that, and the way
it was worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it.
All right, we have another call. Good evening, you're live. Go ahead for contribution.
Hi, good evening, Sammy.
Good evening.
Good evening, Kenson.
How
are you doing?
Go ahead.
Darren, congrats, man, for meeting the final in the Pakistan
Thank
league.
Thank you.
You did well.
Yeah,
keep up the good work.
I will try.
Yeah. That is good Cameron gone, the
Why?
longest rope has an end, The longest rope has an end. He's good to go. So, who next? I feel Julian Charles is the next to go. We must get rid of these guys, man.
Yeah, well, we need leaders.
Yes,
we need leaders in those positions that could have an effect on the change we're looking for.
People are not coming forward, Sammy. People are not coming forward.
Yeah.
We have people, we have potential, we have leaders, but they're not coming forward. And I want you to play a pivotal role, maybe in getting some leaders, and maybe we have an in-house meeting.
Caller, I don't normally interject, but let me interject there.
Yeah.
Honestly, personally, if I believe that somebody needs to be coaxed, somebody don't see the need right now, Julian Charles should stay where he is. Because you cannot tell me under all what that has happened, you've heard from John Eugene, you've heard from Calix, you've heard from Sammy, you heard, if at the end of tonight, tomorrow, the end of this week, somebody still don't put their hand up and say, I can do it, we should not go and try and get somebody, because that person will feel entitled, will say, well, you all bring me. I believe somebody, if they believe the time is now, they should do it now. If at the end of the day, Julian Charles is there because he is being kept there.
Yeah, nobody's been challenged. No one challenged him. No one challenged him.
So, well.
I was in the association, I'm telling you, Sammy. You know, maybe I was there, but what was going on, I couldn't stem it. I pulled out a couple of 4 or 5 years now. It was any nonsense. Like BC. Brian controls everything in cricket. Like he's the president, he's the general secretary, he's the PRO and everything. And the last cricket match, I was there. His entire family was running everything, which is not good. We have other St. Lucian who can do things. I'm telling you, it's embarrassing. I meet cricketers on the road from college, from the different clubs. They did so well, but they're not getting selection. Too much of favoritism.
But we should selecting the team without having a competition. You realize
exactly.
That's what I said.
How can we go forward like that?
And
we have to change it because it's embarrassing. And Sammy, we have tremendous talent, boy.
We do. We're not lacking talent.
Yeah, a good school system. You know, the college and our way. I believe is which school in the final?
Miku.
College is Miku.
You know, and we have talent.
And Marcy has been sponsoring this competition for a while. Talk about corporate support for a competition. Sammy plays Marcy, right?
That's a good program, and we can do that. Now we have a new president of West Indies Cricket Board, Skerritt and Shallow. We can get full support from them, and they know about cricket. They have cricket at heart, but we need to work along as a team. Okay? As I'm here, I'm already speaking to some affiliates. I'm telling you, like CJ. I speak to Alton, I speak to John. We need to do something. Okay?
Yeah, we do.
Good night, Tommy.
We do.
You better
I will talk to you later. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
But you see, at the end of the day, we have a lot of audience that don't understand how it is done. They have affiliates. I think there are about 14 or 15 affiliates, whatever the number is. Grosley is represented, Babun is represented, Central, South Castries. These are the individuals that make a decision on the president and the direction of cricket. The election is November. It does not mean that you cannot move a motion of no confidence. If at the end of the day he is still, it means on some level that there's a confidence, because nobody is saying anything and that sort of thing. Anyway, we have another call. Good evening, you're live. Go ahead for contribution.
Hello, good night.
Yes, sir.
Good night.
Yes, I have never ever called the talk show, but I'm going to do that tonight.
Okay, talk to me.
Sammy, I had a load carrying on my heart.
Is it?
When you were asked as the West Indies one-day captain, and Cameron used you as the water boy to play your first game, I felt really disrespected. So today, that load is off my chest.
Wow.
That's my contribution for the night. Thank you very much.
This man was holding that.
But just to correct him, he said Cameron used me as a water boy. I think that was the captain, the coach, and the selector on top decision. I did come back in the next game and score 50-something not out against India, but it's not all Cameron. It is not all Cameron. But I'm glad you get something.
But that being said, Courtney Brown was chairman of selectors. Are we expecting a shift in all that? We have another call. One second. We're going to answer that. Good evening, your line. Go ahead for contribution. Yes, sir.
Hi, good evening. I just want to comment Darren Sam here, doing a good job as always. With him saying that I will never ask him again why does he want to play for West Indies, because I think that he has grown in his journey. So my question for tonight is, would you be give your services to the West Indies Cricket Board in the future? And I would say one more thing, that you should be the next Prime Minister. So we need to have a Prime Minister that is a sports minister, a Minister of Sports. We don't need to have a Finance Ministry. Check it.
Clara already tell me don't get involved in politics. I leave that for Kenson. But honestly, it's a conversation. Myself, Ron Lewis, when we were on tour, we used to sit down and talk about, but we spoke about it for Windward's cricket, you know, Roll been in the managerial position that he is now in West Indies cricket, and I was captain at that time, and we were looking at Windward Islands cricket and see how we could contribute. And even after 2016, and you know, just seeing things develop, I've been more outspoken, and I've really given it thought that, you know, maybe I could be in administration in the future. But at the moment, I'm still enjoying hitting sixes and, you know, traveling. You know, I'm still enjoying that. But like I've said to Kishore or Mrs. Kerr, whatever area they feel that my experience could be effective, I'm more than willing to share my experience, whether it be in leadership, you know, in young players development, because I've been through the entire system. I played when West Indies West Indies Cricket Board was having development courses for under 15 cricketers. Because I learned that, you know, the knife and fork, table etiquette on a development course in Trinidad for West Indies. I think West Indies for Windward Islands under 15 with Michael C. Prasad and these guys. You know, so I've been through the system. I was at the St. George's Cricket Academy. You know, I played West Indies youth. I captained the A team. I played a lot of A team cricket. So I went through the system in order to get to where I am. And I think with my experience, you know, I think I have a little bit to offer. Yeah.
Yes, you definitely have something to offer, because all I'm saying is that you've been an ambassador for us in all aspects of the game and in St. Lucia as a whole. So I definitely think that, I mean, I'm not trying to retire from cricket yet, because as you know, you captain Planet, because you know you get a trophy everywhere you go. So the next, I think that, you know, to grow you as an individual and do better for St. Lucia and for cricket, I think you would be one of the next persons in line. And when you're ready for that venture, I think you definitely will do us a great job. You understand? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your contribution, caller. Yes, I was asking you before we got that call. Courtney Brown, chairman of selectors, some of the other, do you think that Skeleton and Charlotte will go in a different direction, or do you think they're satisfied?
Well, look, there are certain areas where, you know, I let the people do the job. I have my personal opinion of Courtney Brown and Richard Pybus and all these guys, but at the end of the day, you know, like I said, it's a process, you know, and I think I saw an article today, Scary talking about the coach and how he was selected and stuff like that, you know, handpicked by Cameron and all these, you know, all these things he spoke about. But I foresee some change, you know, in our selection process.
All right. Good evening. You're live. Go ahead with your contribution. Go ahead.
I'm listening.
Go ahead.
If I could give you the answer to your question, then I'm listening to your contribution.
Go ahead with your contribution, caller. Okay, that's nice. All right, well, you can, 4880929, you can definitely WhatsApp the information, and Sammy will definitely get that information. And let me tell you, I can answer for Sammy. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. He will definitely be on board with that. Yeah, 4880929, WhatsApp that information, and 099. It's on the screen. That's St. Lucia Sports Online. It's on the screen.
Yeah.
At the bottom, there's a WhatsApp number, 4880929. WhatsApp that number, WhatsApp the information, and the Sammy will get that information, and then we will liaise and get that done. Definitely. Good stuff, man. We need more of you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. 4519788 is the number to call. We're speaking with Darren Sammy on cricket developments in the region. Yes. So in terms of Pybus, I still have to ask you about Pybus because you spoke about the professionalization of the regional game, and we have a caller. So I'll come back to that. Good evening. You're live. Go ahead for contribution. Of course. That's all right. That's great.
Yeah, I need 20/20 vision.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Thank you so much for your contribution. 4519788 is the number to call. Pybus, coach, you came in at the most perhaps opportunistic opportune time because the team has done so well. So he seems like an absolute god. We're going to come back to that again. Good evening, you're live. Go ahead for contribution. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, buddy. Okay, about the presidency, I think Skirich should get a.
Okay.
I should be able to turn my back and have confidence in my guy.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think he should get a totally new team.
Including selectors.
What's up, man?
I was gonna say your nickname on air, but I won't.
But it's cool, man. Okay, going over to Pakistan, getting off the field. One thing I was so proud of is that young kid, the cancer patient.
Oh.
When that kid saw you walk into the room. It's like he had defeated cancer. Oh my God, yo.
Yeah. That's a very interesting story.
Yeah, that's
that Sammy is a king in Pakistan. He's a king wherever he goes. And not just cricket, overall. A 360 degrees leader.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work, buddy.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Your brothers have your back.
Always. Alright,
thank you so much for your contribution, caller.
You know who that was, right?
That was okay. I thought I had the voice that
Coco Boy, man.
Horseman. Anyway, yeah.
No, but look, we all saw and heard. I think Enoch Lewis, one of the directors, spoke about how Pybus was elected, and he questioned the way he got to become coach of the West Indies team. I think there was an article today, Mr. Scary, talking about that position. But look, he was in the team at the right time. But like I said earlier, this was work done by Floyd Reefer, Corey Collymore, and Stuart Law that he really inherited
at the back end.
And the way Jason, like I said, has improved and the way he's performing, that's why the team did so well.
All right, good evening, you're live. Go ahead for contribution.
Good evening.
Callers again.
Well, I did wear the colors, on what day was it? Last week I wore my World Cup shirt, and I was feeling like a West Indian in my shirt. But I understand what you're saying. Like I've said before, all of this voice is not geared towards me playing for West Indies again. I'm not retired from the shorter format of the game. And like I said earlier, World Cup 2020 is next year. If I'm playing well, if I'm fit, if I'm contributing in the different teams that I'm playing, and CPL is the tournament where you make yourself available for selection for West Indies. If I'm playing well and my performances, the selectors think, it's good enough to play international cricket. If selected, then of course, I've never really turned down selection for West Indies, but that is not really. I'm all excited to go. Sham is gonna be back. That's not why Mr. Skerritt and Charlo won. They're not willing to come and interfere in the selection process of West Indies team. And if that's the mentality that they have, then they have the wrong mentality. Yeah. I think if you put a chairman of selectors and the other selectors to select the best team for West Indies, if it so happened that I'm performing at that time, then if selected, I will. But if not, I still continue on the routine I've had for the last 3 years since the World Cup.
But we all want to see you come back. Mm-hmm. We all want to see you come back.
I've been getting a lot of messages on social media.
He's still available for T20, so he's still available. So, like I said, CPL, if he performs, get a couple of sixes at his stadium, let's see what happens.
The next step, we just want to see the reaction of the former president, to see what will be his reaction, because I really want to see his facial expression, when I see Sammy get back, and, to me that would be, that's just what I'm looking forward to see,
All right, definitely. Well said. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution. All right, we're going to take some more calls. We had a couple of little glitches, so we'll give you a little extra time tonight. So, all right. Good evening. Good evening. Your live got for contribution.
Hello. Good night.
Yeah, go ahead for contribution.
All right. Good night. It's going to be very, very brief here. Your program is called Sports Talk, and one of the things that I think we don't do enough is speak out. I really want to commend Darren Sammy on his boldness in speaking out. Someone asked about whether he thought they spoke at the right moment after the World Cup. Let me tell you something. Once you're speaking the truth, there's never the wrong time.
True.
The Messiah, if we really and truly feel we are Christians, he spoke to multitudes. He didn't hide under the bush. He was, and I'll tell you the truth. To effect the kind of change we want to see in sports here, we need more people to be outspoken. People have the information. They know the truth. They know what needs to be done. But because of fear of victimization, etc., they keep quiet. Man, we need to talk. We need to talk. It starts with the talk. Hats off to you, Darren Sammy, and keep talking, my brother.
Thanks.
Well, that sounds like a calypso coming there. So there's
trust me.
Very good contribution. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right, man. Thank you. It's true, though, Kenson. And I was not always like that. I was the one who would call, hey, Dr. Hille, this is so, what do you think? And a lot of people, it's an eye-opener to hear them. The Darren I knew as a kid, Darren would not do that. Darren is rebel. That's what first thing I did. Started calling me, tell me I'm rebelling now. But it is true. After you've got yourself into a position, into a city, with the experience you've gained, and people look up to you to be an example, you have to sometimes take the bull by the horn and speak out. And the caller said, there's no special time for the truth, to be honest.
Absolutely, well said. All right, good evening, your live. Go ahead for contribution.
Hello?
Yes, good evening. Turn on the volume of your TV. Let's go.
Okay. One sec. Could I actually get off air on... I'm trying to get on the WhatsApp, and I sent a message, and maybe could you guys read it and address it?
All right, we're going to address the messages for sure.
That sounds like.
do you want to have a conversation since we already have you online? Actually, I think I know the message you're talking about. I'm seeing the messages,
well,
but
it's kind of important. It's actually probably you can say it's an interest of mine, but I actually want to you guys to make mention of a young man. He's moved on, but to his studies, but he's really been an very active, I would say, cricketer for the last, from the age of 5 until 19. And
Okay.
he has been featured in the papers last week in Trinidad. And, I just want you guys to zoom in on this young man. And
are you talking about Keddy Les Morris?
mention of him. Well, no, not him.
I think she's talking about Keegan.
Keegan Patrick.
Keegan Patrick.
Patrick, okay.
I've known this little kid for a long
We just
time.
spoke about speaking up. Just say what you have to say.
Yeah.
Like Teddy St. John say. Yeah.
Say what you have to say.
I just think,
That's the anthem.
If he's just gone there for the first semester and he's already featured in papers in Trinidad, I think it's important that we can mention such great aspiring young leaders. I look at him as a leader already.
I know Keegan.
I just wanted to make mention or highlight Keegan Patrick.
Okay.
Because he's gonna be, well, in my opinion, he's my son, and I think he's gonna be doing very good in sports, academics, spiritual. I mean, not to mention, he's a very spiritual young man. And, you may think it's self-serving, but I think he's a leader in his own right. And I think that was, it's actually something we need to be proud of and make mention of.
Absolutely, and I agree with you, and especially with cricket moms. I mean, these people are passionate about their development, and if you've been there, I totally agree with you.
I know the young man. I've watched him grow into the system. Loved cricket. At a very tender age, he knew so many stats about the game. He not only played, but I think he's really a student of the game. He's quite intelligent as well about the rules, and maybe some people, the actual playing is not their calling, but we're looking for young leaders.
I've been
maybe
saying journalists, sports
he
commentators.
could be one of those who, I think he's studying in Trinidad now.
Like she said.
He could be one of those who, like Kishore, become one of the youngest vice president. He could be some of the young people
actually movers and shakers. Absolutely.
But Keegan is a bright young man, bright prospect, for us. So probably, I'm not sure if you knew of what his achievements are in Trinidad.
No, I thought that
maybe the mom should send it in.
And you can always send the information to stluciasportline@gmail.com. So we will take it and let people know what you send it.
Certainly, I will have him do that part, send his CV or something. But he's really he's reaching the stars. To be honest, I mean, I have been proud, I've been encouraging him, and he has all the support, and I think he's just most motivated. His spiritual background, I won't even take credit for that one. He's amazing.
All right. Okay, thank you so much. I will find that information. Of course, stluciasportline@gmail.com. You can send information there, and we'll feature it in the news and, of course, on Vibe Radio as well. Okay?
Yes,
thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, because we do have a number of messages on the platform, but I was giving the callers an opportunity. Somebody says, "Good night to you, Kenson and Darren. I would like to take this opportunity to express my heartfelt thanks to everyone who has called, text, or just expressed their support to Zita. She has assured us that she will continue to give her best and represent our country well. Darren, we appreciate the contributions you have made towards the development of the youth and the less fortunate. Great job. Proud of you, Zita's mom, cricket mom." Absolutely. Cricket mom. All right, we have another call. Good evening. You're live. Go ahead for contribution.
Good night.
Turn on the volume of the TV and let's go.
Good night.
Good night, Darren.
Good night, how are you?
Not too bad. This is an ex-women cricketer calling.
Is that Eugenia Gray?
No, Elizabeth Williams.
Oh, hi, Miss Williams. How are you? Go ahead.
Not too bad. Yes, I want to congratulate Darren on his last performance at the PSL.
Thank you.
Even if they were not showing it on TV, but I was following it on my phone religiously. And I would like to commend you on the good, so many accolades you got from Pakistan. And I have to say that from the time you have been playing in all the formats, what I've noticed and admired about you is your humbleness. And I know you will continue to be humble, and I think that is one of the qualities that has brought you thus far. So I wouldn't want to take too long, just to wish you all the best and to continue. I didn't know you were such of a good sports politician. I think you had a hand in swaying people who were not inclined to vote for Mr. Skerritt.
Say do it. Sabi say Cameron, your time is up.
Yes, and in closing, I want to take a little jab at you next year. I know when you're at the PSL, when it comes to giving medals, you will not take a convenient bathroom break anymore.
well, he won't be at the prize giving ceremony for sure.
Yeah, that's what I know. So that's why I said you wouldn't have to take a convenient bathroom break anymore.
You're watching too much cricket, man.
Okay, good night and all that.
Thank you. Good night.
Somebody says hello. Please throw some names around for Sammy's recommendation. Sammy's recommendation for president of the SLU Association, St. Lucia Cricket Association. You know, again, people have been speaking about that. Somebody says, McKenzie, maybe a former female cricketer can be president of the association. We have another call. We're taking a few more calls before we. All right. Good evening. You're live. Go ahead for your contribution. All right, we missed that call. Somebody says, Kenson, the young man, Keegan Patrick, is the grandson of Waltrud Patrick, manager of Bay Gardens. She lives in Grand Riviere now, but from Grosile. Sure, Grosile. All right, we'll have to find out. Somebody says, Windward's won the T50, 50 overs last year with Johnson Charles. Now Windward's languishing at the bottom. I think that was some time ago. Johnson didn't play with Windward's last year. The 50 over, did he play?
No, year before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All right, somebody says his father is from Okay, all right. Good night, Kenson. Sammy, if asked to take up the presidency of the association, would you accept? Kenson, this is for you. Manchester United to the world. Whatever. That's two Arsenal fans. Yeah. Be careful what you're saying. Kenson, don't forget Keegan Patrick has Grosily roots. All right, so everybody's telling me that I really need to. The name sounds very familiar.
You know him. He played under 15 for a number of years.
Yeah. I'll have to definitely go back and find out. All right. Somebody says I run for president of the local cricket association. Tired of football. I say who say that? Alvin Malakan. Hey! Alvin Malakan.
All right, I endorse this message.
And then he said, it's a joke.
Mr. Malakan, don't play with me like this.
He's saying I saw you'll have some serious biceps on that. You say tell him it's not a rebellion, it's just part of a great, it's just being part of a great leader. That's what leaders do, speak out for those who are afraid to. I agree.
But he should maybe he could be president.
Yeah, Mr. Malakan. Yeah. Good evening, you're live, go ahead for contribution.
Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good show, good program.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Darren, I admire you very much.
Thank you.
You're a great ambassador for West Indies.
Yeah.
And St. Lucia.
I try to be.
Okay. I mean, to be very honest,
tell me.
Cameron was long overdue. Okay. Cameron should have gone a long time ago.
Well, Mr. Charles didn't see that,
Because I don't understand what's going through his head. Because Julian himself need to go.
Everybody wrong. Like 99% of the region wrong. That's what I don't understand, 99% of everybody you speak to involved in cricket says the man has to go. And you're part of the 1%.
But Courtney Brown need to go too.
I do understand it.
If Courtney Brown need to go too. I'm not children alone. There are lots of them who has to go. Okay? I mean, you have a immaculate show tonight, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
But Kenson, Keegan is World Trade, Hayden Patrick. Hayden is from Grosley, man. Notre Dame Street.
Yeah.
Notre Dame Street?
Yeah.
That's the street of my father.
You know
Keegan. And my grandmother.
Well, Keegan great grandmother live opposite your grandfather homes. Ayuta.
You know the young man, Kenson.
Opposite my grandfather's home.
Opposite homes, man.
Opposite homes, but there's opposite homes is an open space. That's where it used to be.
On the other side of Clyde House, there's a lady called Ayuta. She used to sell peanuts something. This lady don't go out anymore. She don't go out anymore.
Boy, I know you're talking about my area there. That area there, they call it the gully side. That's what they call it right now. I live there.
Where you think I'm from, Kingston?
I don't think the voice is from the gully side though.
Kingston, this is Marius, man. This is Marius.
Which Marius? Which one are they?
Okay, you will find out.
I will say very soon, because by the time I come close, everybody will put pressure on me for not doing.
I'm Marius.
Okay.
So Keegan is a young boy. I know Keegan from both. But Keegan did not raise in Grosley.
And he's in Trinidad now. I have to find that out. Let me tell you, Saka Batme. I have to find that out. I have to.
He did not raise in Grosley. He raised in between Asu Canal.
Okay, Grand Riviere side.
Grand Riviere and his grandmother was.
But it's people from Grosley.
Yes.
Notre Dame Street, you say? What?
His roots is from Grosley.
Okay. All right. So I guess that's why I probably would not have done. And again, the time we're talking about, I was probably at school.
Maybe you not know Keegan, man.
Yeah. I spent 6 years at school.
I know his whole roots.
Okay.
But Darren, you see you. Keep up that good work.
Thank you. I will.
And speak out when you have to speak out.
Yeah.
Don't hold it in you. It will stifle you.
All right. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good night.
All right. So you were our final caller because I've seen the number come off the television set. I'm just going to go through some of the messages. Somebody says, proud of Darren. He has done well for himself. This fight is not for Darren. He is already 45. It's for the 123 contracted players who he wants better for. I don't expect to see Darren in maroon in the future because he is fighting for others. Go brave, Darren. We will always love you. Cheers to progress with Dave. With Dave gone. I see Dave Cameron. Cheers to progress with Dave gone. All right. Oh my God! I get a message from Armstrong Alexis, who is very far from St. Lucia. Says the Patricks live opposite your grandparents. The lady Ayuta. You see where they love you. Used to sell peanuts by Mr. Affa's shop. All right. Somebody's trying to call this number, but we're no longer taking any calls. All right. Kenson, in all fairness to cricket. The entire executive needs to go, not only the president. Well, at the end of the day, the affiliates are the ones with that power and decision. Like I said, I will reiterate, if at the end of the day, Julian Charles is there, it's only because the majority of the affiliates are satisfied with what's going on. All right. Somebody says, give me a shout after the show. I will give you details about Keegan Patrick Grosley roots. But it seems like, yeah, boy, people really want me to know who that is. Somebody says, congrats, Sammy. It would be interesting to know who voted where in the recent CWI elections. What about the current president of our local association? What what are we doing about him? Malakan is a good choice. LOL. I'm sure if we look around, we can find many appropriate people. I'm not into looking around. I'm telling you, personally, I'm not into going and look for anybody. I believe, let me tell you, I've been a volunteer for most of my life. It is something that you come out and do. You see a need for it, and that is how I prefer it. That's just not how I do it. Come out. Speak your mind, tell us what you want to do, let's see if you're making sense and move forward, because that thing about looking for people is what's wrong with what happens most of the time. Somebody says, hello, good night, when does the Cricket Academy start? Big thanks to Kevin Gassi from his mom Merlin to keep up the good work. I guess we shout out to him, keep up the good work. Congrats for making the Winwoods under 15 team. When is your program start? It's later in the year.
Yeah, we're gonna start in first week in August, okay, for the summer break.
All right. Somebody says, good evening, gentlemen. I just want to compliment you all for the beautiful representation of chocolate men. Keep excelling in both your careers and bringing the standard of young males to an optimum level. Oh, y'all, one thing, your Lucians are something else. Somebody says,
boy.
Somebody says, big up Sammy, Viet Tweezing boys in the building. Let me tell you, they shell it down at Marcus and Cup. Let me tell you, that was really nice. Good. Well done. Well done. Well done. All right. Let me see if there's another message there. Somebody says, Mr. Sammy, do you think that the only problem with our local cricket association is Julian Charles? Talk of victimization is so true. Young players get victimized when their parents speak about problems plaguing our cricket in St. Lucia. All right. Somebody says, good night, Kenton and Darren. Now that part 1 has completed at the regional level, what are the plans for St. Lucia cricket and how soon will you all get the ball rolling? Again, there's an association there. Does CWI have a position of immediate past president? Somebody says, I don't think that one needs to be read out loud. Does it? Somebody says, good evening, Kenton and Sammy. Wow, what an interesting program and discourse this evening. Continue to do the great work that you do on and off the pitch. All right. Somebody says, that's the last one I'm going to read because we really have to go. If every staff has an issue with their boss, you think all the staff have problems and not the boss? Some bosses have to give their staff a listening ear. I want to know if Sammy is playing IPL this year. Well, he's here.
No.
And so obviously he just came from Pakistan. So, man, rest well. All right. Somebody says, Sammy, are you interested in becoming president of the Cricket Association? Sammy has answered that.
Not yet.
Yes. All right. See what I go for. All right. So that was the. You see how far down the Keegan Patrick thing was. Imagine that. There's never a wrong time to speak the truth. Talk on, Sammy. We need more people with balls. That's cricket. I guess you have some cricket otherwise to speak out and effect change. All right, Sammy. Final words from you.
Well, as usual, it's good to be on the show. I think what transpired over the weekend is a to me, and that's just my opinion, is a very good step in the right direction for West Indies cricket administration and West Indies cricket in general. I do want the public to also be patient, give Mrs. Skerritt and Shallow a chance to implement the programs and that they want and the vision that they have for West Indies cricket. Also, we have a lot of work to do locally. So, to all the leaders out there, St. Lucia Cricket Association needs some leaders. Put your hand up. And as usual, it's good to be back home. I love my people. And good night to you, Kenson.
Somebody says, thank you so much, Sammy. Somebody says Trevor Phillip will be making a comeback. You just have a lot of things there. Somebody says, Sammy is simply the best. Kenson, you in your own manner. I'm very happy this man, Wycliffe Dave Cameron, is axed now because when he took the captaincy from Sammy and used him in the first game, okay, I guess that person called, he is history now. Thank you so much, St. Lucia. Of course, thank you, Sammy.
Pleasure, man.
Always welcome on
Always,
set.
yes,
I think by CPL time you'll be here again. We're talking local cricket, local, regional, international cricket. Thank you so much for inviting us into your homes. Thank you for your calls, your messages, and your contribution to tonight's show. On behalf of our entire sports team, I'm Kenson Casimir. Enjoy the rest of your night. Bye-bye.